There is this moment when you decide not to go for something. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, or it's a move. You just decide not to try, not to push. And the thought that comes after is very simple. You think, I'm okay where I am. And maybe you are. But I've noticed that the same thought can come from two very different places. One comes from you choosing your own peace, and the other one comes from fear that is slowly disguising itself as peace. From the outside, they both look the same, but on the inside, they feel completely different. And one makes your life feel like a sanctuary, but the other one makes it feel like a prison. And I think you can feel the difference inside if you are honest with yourself. Sometimes what looks like peace is actually a defense mechanism. You stop chasing something because somewhere along the way you convince yourself that you just can't do it anyway. And then you made all sorts of excuses. I don't know how to do it. It's too hard. I'm too old. I don't know if this is the right thing. And by making those kind of choices, you slowly build a small life that doesn't come from preferences, it comes from fear. And inside, you feel like your world keeps shrinking because everywhere you look, you just see obstacles because you're looking through that fear. You may tell yourself that you are content, but deep down, you know that you're just there because you were too scared to come out of your comfort zone. And you can know that by feeling the tightness that is underneath everything, the hesitation and doubt that is kind of attached to everything in your life. They are not that loud to make you alarmed, but they are always there. And that's why you avoid certain um, thoughts and certain situations. But not every quiet life comes from fear. Sometimes it really is peace, and you can feel it inside. It feels like nothing is missing, and you don't think that life is happening somewhere else and you have to chase it down. You really feel content where you are. You could still try for more. You could still change things. You could still open new doors, but you know you don't have to. There is no tension in there. That kind of peace usually comes from experience after you have kind of touched the stove. Maybe you chased the big life and you felt the burnout that came with it. Or maybe you saw others go for it and then you realize that the things that you have been taught to chase are not really going to make you feel fulfilled. So at some point, decided, you made a conscious decision that this is not the life I want. And because that choice comes from clarity and not fear, there is no bitterness to it. When you are there, you don't have to persuade yourself that you are happy, you just are. And it doesn't mean that you have lost your ambition. You have just changed your relationship to it. You are not a slave to your ambitions, and um, desires anymore. And you are not avoiding the world. You have just stopped trying to prove yourself to it. From the outside, your life might look like a small, quiet life, but the inside, your world is actually widening because you see a lot more possibilities than obstacles. You can also know that or see the difference between these two paths from the way you react to the people who decided to go for the thing that you walked away from. If your choice comes from peace, you feel a kind of indifference or even a little bit of compassion toward them. But if your choice comes from fear, you start reacting to them, you start judging them because they remind you that you were too scared to make the same choice as they did. So I think the hardest part is really to admit to ourselves that where our choice is actually coming from. But it's a question worth asking. Did you choose a small, quiet life because the big life that many people are chasing wasn't really genuinely attractive to you? Or did you choose a small life because the big life required a version of you that you haven't become yet? And the only person that knows the answer to this question is just honestly you. And of course, it's not black and white. In some areas, you might be open, and in other areas, you might be closed off. And this also changes at different stages of your life. And the point I'm making isn't to judge yourself, it's just to know, to be aware where your choices are actually coming from. I think that's all I had for you today. Until next time.